G'day, I'm Ash, and sorry for the abrupt ending of the last video. Dev server is literally going to close in under 10 minutes. Anyway, I haven't got all the footage I really need, so we're going to go quickly over some of the honourable mentions for the Italian ground forces. Now, this is the Centauro Roma. Of course, everything is subject to change, as I mentioned in the last videos, and I've got to be really quick about this one. But essentially, 105 main gun with a DM23. Basically a Leopard, but can do 100 kilometers an hour. Now, this one also has ERA, and I mean, armored cars are certainly, you know, fantastic vehicles, that's for sure. I enjoyed test driving this one and playing around with it. And then there's also the automatic, or whatever you want to call it, the rank 6 9.0, and of course the Centauro is rank 6 8.7. So with that out the way, the armour isn't too good in any of these vehicles. I'm not going to cover those. I have extremely limited time. But the main point is, right, that this particular vehicle right here could make or break the game. Now, I'll tell you why. It's got a modification which allows it to fire the 76/62 AP FSDS, which is 300mm of penetration, with a rate of fire of an extreme amount. It's like one shell every 2 seconds. This thing is going to be more of a tank hunter than an aviation hunter, or should I say an anti-aircraft platform. This, essentially, what it boils down to is this thing could break the game. But anyway, there's that. And of course, Italy also has the OF40 Mark IIA. And of course, I'm looking at everything at top tier at the moment because again, everything really matters, but this is basically a thick Leopard, a thicker Leopard, a license-built Leopard with the welding that is really, really bad. I mean, look at that. That would rust out pretty easily. Armour-wise, 70mm, 30mm, you know, nothing too fancy here. 35mm thickness, again with a top speed of I can't even say the top speed. Top speed of 72 kilometers an hour. The armor isn't really the main focus of this vehicle. It's more the 105 Otto Milara 105 gun, the machine guns, and whatever else it can get its hand on. So mobility and firepower seems to be what the top tier, well, particularly this particular vehicle. Now, this is an N113. But it's called the Siddharm 25. It's a rank 5 battle rating 8.0. And this thing's unique because of its turret on the top. Now, tell me, that does not remind you of General Grievous from Star Wars. Please don't copyright claim my video. But it's got arms that swing everywhere. It has very limited ammunition. Top speed of 70 kilometers an hour. Armor non-existent. But I thought it was interesting because, well, it's 25mm cannons times 4. That's a lot of firepower to put out of one, you know, a turret on the top there. Plus, it looks like it comes out of Star Wars. So that's always fun. What else do they get? They get an M47. There's a regular Centauro without ERA. There's this thing, basically Italy's version of the RU-251. It's got a 90mm gun and a 7.62 machine gun. This thing can do a top speed of 111 kilometers an hour. So again, another one of the fastest vehicles in the game, and is basically just an armored car, but it's an RU-251 on an armored car platform. It's a rank 5 battle rating 7.0. Armor at thickest 8mm. Machine guns will go through this. As for X-ray, 3 crew in the middle, ammunition to the left, engine to the rear with radiator cooling and everything else that an armoured car needs. And that's pretty much it for this particular vehicle. Now, Italy has a lot of armoured cars. So much so that basically most of the early tree is armoured cars. Now, this is the AB41. Quite a derpy little thing. It's got eyes and everything. Again, you'll see this car quite a lot. There's several versions of this particular vehicle, but again, nice and derpy. You've got a light tank. Again, quite interesting, but if you shoot it in the front face here, you're probably going to knock out all the crew. Again, quite a neat little vehicle. It's a battle rating 1.0, rank 1. You've then got the AB43, which is basically a bigger, beefier version of the previous vehicle you just saw, except it's got one of those fancy turrets on the top there. Rank 2, battle rating 2.0. I don't have any footage of this. Server's going to go down in less than 10 minutes, so I need to get a move on. What else is there to really have a look at? Ah, yes. Roid Destroyer, or what's the word? On my live stream I said that this looked like something out of Star Wars, and there's several vehicles that look similar-esque in shape. Basically a rhomboid with a car chassis. And this is a rank 2 battle rating 3.3 at current stage, although I wish it was rank 3 only because it's a post-war vehicle, not a whatever. We've got your regular P40, M26, M47, nothing too fancy there. Now, this little vehicle, this is the Tier 1 anti-aircraft battle rating 1.3. And does anyone see the resemblance of Herbie in this one? Big wheels, you know, capable of traversing like a lot of terrain, relatively high off the ground. A big vehicle, but travelling for deserts and stuff like that. It's got a 20mm cannon, rank 1, battle rating 1.3, but to me it's just Herbie. You know, if someone could get a custom skin with painted 53 on the side, that'd be nice, because essentially that's pretty much it. M14/41, again, just a weird Italian tank with 2 machine guns in the front here. They're 8mm machine guns, ironically, so not your regular ammunition type. Nothing really too fancy to say about that one. It's got a 47mm main gun, which is quite good for the time. But again, a lot of the vehicles in the tech tree are... Have I shown you this one? The Fiat. Are basically either armoured cars or tank destroyers. And I think the armoured cars are fantastic. This is the self-loading recoilless rifle vehicle. Basically like the Ontos. There's another version of this exact vehicle, but it has 2 launchers on the top. I believe it's this one. Yep, there it is. Same vehicle, or similar vehicle. Except not on the Fiat chassis, but with 2 recoilless rifles instead of 1. I think that's fantastic. It's going to be so much fun playing these when they come out in the live server. Apart from that, as far as tank destroyers go, got this little thing, the 4732, the L40, rank 1, 1.7. It's got a 47mm main cannon. Quite slow, open-topped, vulnerable to planes. Not much to say about it. Again, these are tankettes. Italian tanks aren't the greatest. However, you're going to kill me if I say that. And then there is this thing of note. Now, this is probably the most different variation of the Italian tank destroyers. And on my live stream, which I'll have a link to in the VOD if you want to see me look at more in depth into the Italian tanks, this is a rank 3 battle rating 5.3 vehicle with a 90mm cannon. It only has 8 rounds of ammunition stored right underneath the back vehicle here in a little hidey hole. That's pretty much it. 8 rounds isn't going to be that effective. It does have 45 degrees rotation left and right of dead center, but the elevation's kind of limited, and of course the depression will be limited by the fact that the engine and the hull are so high up. It's quite sad, and with a rear-mounted turret like that, it's okay, but it's not going to be the best vehicle. Then you've got this vehicle. Now, this vehicle has many iterations, which I'm not going to go into. There are several of these Hetzer-like tank destroyers, and the Italians had hundreds of them. The 75mm L34 cannon with 45 rounds, again rank 3, battle rating 4.3. This particular chassis differs against like 8 different vehicles. Ignore the Tigers here. We've got this one, again different armor, different layout, different engine, but still basically, essentially the same vehicle. And it goes all the way down to a longer barrel 75, and then there's various improvements, a bit better side armor, you know, a machine gun on the top, better protection, better gun. But really, they are the same. They really are the same vehicles all the way through, and there's quite a few of them. Of course, there's the regularly in-tree version of the 105 M43, but instead, you know, instead of the premium, which the premium we get is a 3.3, and this again is a new vehicle. Essentially, they're the same platform across multiple vehicles, and I think there is, starting with the M41, yeah, it starts with this vehicle, and no, it starts even earlier than that. It starts at 2.3. Starts with a short stubby. There's one. It starts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of the same tank destroyers in the game. That's pretty much it. So that's my very, very short, brief overview of Italian tanks. I know it's getting a rather lengthy video as is. I will be cutting up some other videos and other content from my live stream. There's more funny moments and in-depth there, but the dev server is literally about to cut off in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to get off and do more talking and more in-depth reviews about these particular vehicles when they come to the live server. If the dev server doesn't come up during this week, which it may not, because it may just go up. And that's pretty much it. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Sorry it's a bit rushed. I'm a bit squeezed for time. Yeah, when real life calls, sometimes you don't get to do videos. Anyway, catch you next time.